Thanks for joining us. Charlotte is anchoring from home. She will join us remotely in just a moment. We are continuing to follow breaking news. We first brought you at 5. Governor Tony Evers had tried to suspend in-person voting today, moving the election to June. But in the last hour, the state Supreme Court ruled that he could not do that, leaving the election tomorrow as scheduled. We have team coverage tonight. Gabriella Becerra tells us how clerks are now preparing. But first, Amy Reed explains what it means for the election going forward. Amy?
The Supreme Court ruling was the latest in a whiplash of a day where the election looked different hour by hour. This morning, without a single lawmaker present, the legislature adjourned a special session called by the governor that sought to postpone the election and move it to mail-in only. After no action, Governor Evers jumped in, issuing his executive order to push the election to June 9th. Now the Supreme Court has blocked that executive order in a 4-2 vote, with Justice Dan Kelly, who's on the ballot, abstaining, and liberal-leaning justices Ann Walsh Bradley and Rebecca Frank-Dillette dissenting. But earlier today, Evers maintained he has the right to change the election because this is a rare circumstance, and he's acting to protect Wisconsinites.
So clearly, I believe that this falls under my ability to make sure that the security of the people of Wisconsin, which I do have obligations to maintain, is taken into account, and that's why I'm doing this today.
The majority party leaders in the state legislature applauded the court's ruling, saying, quote, "We agree with the state Supreme Court ruling that affirms the separation of powers spelled out in our Constitution. The state's highest court has spoken. The governor can't unilaterally move the date of the election." Now, to recap, with all of the changes, in-person voting is still set to go on tomorrow. You're still encouraged to vote absentee if you've requested your ballot. Those are due into your local clerk by April 13th. Now, this ruling by the court isn't what all in the state were hoping for. Gabriella Becerra joins us now with the reaction from Madison's mayor, who called for the postponement a few times.
Amy, earlier today, local clerks were thanking Governor Tony Evers for listening to their plea of pushing the election, expressing their frustration that the election could happen. Tonight, we know that will be the case.
So many people are at risk either of being disenfranchised or of being exposed to COVID-19 if we hold an election tomorrow.
Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway says Governor Evers' order was acting in the best interest of public health.
I absolutely think it will set us back. While our clerk's office, along with the support of many, many other city employees, has done everything we possibly can to keep voters safe tomorrow, anytime you have people congregating, there's a risk, and that's the whole point of the Safer at Home order.
Now, Rhodes Conway is concerned the continued back and forth in decisions could confuse voters.
It's completely confusing, and this is why the city has been calling on the state, again, for weeks to take action. What we should have done is weeks ago said, no, we're postponing the election, or no, we're going to an all-absentee ballot election, so that voters would have certainty, so that everybody would know what was going on, and we wouldn't be in this sort of 11th hour position, which I think, yes, is going to be very confusing to people.
Earlier in the day, the Wisconsin Elections Commission told clerks to keep preparing for the election despite the governor's executive order, so we do expect that tomorrow the polls will be ready.
All right, Gabby, Amy Reed reporting tonight. Thank you very much.